Hi everybody, I'm Ryan, and today we're going to talk about how to sideboard against the top 10 most popular decks in Standard with Red-Green Aggro. Now, if you're looking for an overview of the deck, you should check that out. That was posted last week in the deck tech. Today, we're just going to talk about the sideboard. So let's jump into it. So this is Red-Green Aggro in Standard, one of the best decks in Standard, actually. And as far as the sideboard goes, Lithomantic Barrage against problematic creatures that are white or blue. Torch a Tower for mostly aggressive decks, also decent against the enduring cards. Scorching Shot, good against big blockers. Urbrass Forge, we're going to be sideboarding in against decks that have a lot of removal and are likely going to go long with us. Potpatch Formation, decent. Enchantment Hate, also good against like different flyers like in the blue deck. And then the fourth Questing Druid, again, for decks that are going to go long and that we need to grind with. So the most popular deck is Dimir Midrange. We're going to be sided in Lithomantic Barrage and Torch the Tower just to be able to deal with their creatures, and then we're going to power through the rest of the deck. However, they are looking to grind with us and go long, and they post-board, they are pretty good at dealing with our aggro, so siding in the Questing Druid's pretty solid. That being said, I'm not a big fan of Monstrous Rage. They don't have a lot of blockers to trample over anyway, that they do have a lot of removal. And I like shaving on Innkeeper's Talent and Screaming Nemesis just because they can easily deal with Screaming Nemesis with their removal, like way too easy, and we want damage to be dealt, and Innkeeper's Talent requires us to have creatures, so it's kind of tough, especially when we're bringing in so many non-creature spells. So sideboard against Dimir Midrange. The second most popular deck is Golgari Midrange. Against Golgari Midrange, we're going to decide in Scorching Shot so we can get rid of the big butted blockers. Urbrass Forge, because they're looking to go long. They have a lot of really, really good removal. And then similarly with Questing Druid. Just like before, we're going to sideboard out of our Monstrous Rage because they have so much removal, especially post-board. And I'm really not a fan of Screaming Nemesis against this deck. And that's how I sideboard against Golgari. The third most popular deck is the Mirror Match. And in fact, we're going to sideboard the same in the Mirror. We're going to sideboard the same against the Gruul Aggro deck, not necessarily the Prowess deck. So the Gruul Prowess deck's third most popular, Gruul Aggro deck's the sixth most popular, and then the Mono Red deck is the eighth most popular. We're going to sideboard the same against all of them. And we're going to sideboard in the Torch the Towers, the Scorching Shots, and because we know we're siding so much removal, again, I'm not a fan of Monstrous Rage. Monstrous Rage is such a better like game one card. I'm going to shave on Questing Druid as well, and that's how we're going to sideboard in the Mirror. The fourth most popular deck is the Esper Self Bounce deck. Lithomantic Barrage is really solid, as well as Torch the Tower again. And this is tough because they have so much removal and really good blockers. Screaming Nemesis ends up being pretty bad, being 3 mana though, because they can bounce things so well. And because of all that removal, we're going to shave on Monstrous Rage. And this is how I sideboard against the Esper Pixie Esper Self Bounce deck. The fifth most popular deck is the Jeskai Convoke deck. Against Jeskai Convoke, Lithomantic Barrage is pretty solid. And frankly, other than that, we're just going to try to be faster than them. Lithomantic Barrage, by the way, can't be countered. Also gets through Ward, so it's really good against Sheltered by Ghosts, which is how they beat us. And we're just going to shave on Questing Druid. We want to be as low to the ground and as aggressive as possible in the sideboard against Jeskai Convoke. We've already talked about Gruul Aggro, which is the sixth most popular deck. The seventh most popular deck is Domain. Against Domain, we're bringing in Scorching Shot to get rid of their big butted stuff. Potpatch Formation because they have so many enchantments. Urbrass Forge because they have board wipes and are pretty good at dealing with what we're doing. And then similarly with Questing Druid. I do not think Screaming Nemesis is very good against this deck because they are rarely looking to block. They're just gaining a bunch of life, attacking and removing us. Because they have so much removal, we don't like Monstrous Rage. And frankly, because a lot of that removal is spot removal, we're going to shave on Snakeskin Veil, and that's how I'm going to sideboard against Domain. The eighth most popular deck is Mono Red, which we've already talked about. And so we're going to go to the ninth most popular deck, which is Mono White Tokens. Against Mono White, we're bringing in Urbrass Forge because they are looking to go really, really long. We're a fan of Lithomantic Barrage, deals with their planeswalkers and problematic creatures. And I really like Questing Druid. We're going to be sideboarding out a lot of these cards that require us to have other creatures for them to be good. I'm also not a fan of Snakeskin Veil just because a lot of their removal are like literally board wipes. And Burst Lightning doesn't really do that much. We do like Monstrous Rage, even though there's a ton of removal, because we really need to get through their tokens, though. So that's how I'm going to sideboard against Mono White. The 10th most popular deck is Azorius Convoke. Against Azorius Convoke, Lithomantic Barrage is awesome. We're also a fan of Scorching Shot. They're a lot more big creature based than the Jeskai Convoke deck, so Azorius convoke, we're sideboarding just a little bit differently. I'm also a fan of Torch the Tower. We're going to sideboard out of our questing druids because we really aren't looking to go long. And I really don't like Innkeeper's Talon. It just is too slow and we really need to be moving as fast as we can. And we're just going to shave on Screaming Nemesis because there's not a lot of combat that's going to be happening. There's going to be a lot of tapping down and removal, and that's pretty much it. So that's how I'm going to sideboard against Azorius convoke. That is how I sideboard against the top 10 most popular decks in Standard with red-green aggro. If you like this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Check me out on social medias. Links are above me and in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.